right, welcome everybody to the latest and greatest episode of Community Association Call Chat. Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, David. Yeah, this is the live show this week. So today we actually have a nice guest, very special guest from the Philadelphia area. We have Jeff Krimstock. He is the president and owner of Cobrin Properties. Jeff, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, hi, David. Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me. I'm Jeff Krimstock, as you said, president and owner of Cobrin Properties. I think I'm the hardest working guy in this business. And I thought this was going to be much easier until I saw the instructions this morning that said find a shady place to park with a good internet connection.
Yeah.
And by finding a shady place, we did not mean for you to park in a back alley.
I was thinking more like my driveway, but
okay.
But an alley works as well. That's a little shady.
All right, Jeff. So what does Cobrin Properties do? What are you guys all about?
We are a 106-year-old community association management company. The company started as a mortgage servicing company in the 70s. We started managing condo associations and homeowners associations. That's been our core business ever since. And we manage, I think our portfolio today has about 80 associations in it.
Okay.
Many of which are in Center City. But quite a bit in Montgomery County, Delaware County, and a few in Bucks County.
Gotcha. So it's interesting. Do you notice, Steve? Like he said, he was the CEO and owner of Cobrin Property. He did not say he was the founder.
No. I was going to say you don't quite look 106 to me.
I am not the founder. Thankfully, although today I do feel like I'm 106. I am only 45, so I got another few years to get there. But I did not I am not the founder of the company. I bought the company in 2016 after working at the company for a little longer than a year.
No kidding.
Now you're in Philly. And your family, I know, has like deep roots in town, but like, are you like a Philly sports fan at all? Or?
No, can't stand Philly sports teams. Can't stand them. I like Saint Germain, Paris. I like all the French teams. That's what I like.
How about you, Steve? I know Steve is a huge Philly fan, especially in hockey.
Yeah, I think we might have to talk about that a little bit later, but we'll see.
Are you telling me I get my pencils mixed up?
Yeah, to be serious, I am a diehard Philly sports fan.
Okay.
Diehard Flyers fan. I played hockey my entire life. A baseball fan. I played baseball my entire life as well. And I just took my 7-year-old daughter to her first Sixers game to watch James Harden play.
Outstanding.
All right. Is that when they lost to the Nuggets?
No, it was his first Friday night game. So they beat who did they beat? They beat the Cavaliers.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Very
a lot
cool.
of fun. Yeah. My daughter said it was the best day of her life. I thought my birthday was the best day of her life.
Oh man.
All right.
All right. So you mentioned a couple of counties there, but what does your ideal client base look like? Like what kind of communities are you servicing? Is it HOAs or the co-ops, high rises? Like what's your demographic?
What does my ideal client look like? Any client that writes that has a good bank balance. But our target are, frankly, we manage quite a bit of condo associations, but I'd say we have a pretty even split with homeowners associations.
Okay.
The condo associations we manage, you'll find are going to be more so in Center City. Although we do have a handful of condo associations out in the suburbs. We have quite a few homeowners associations that we manage in the suburbs as well. We manage quite a bit of property on the main line up and down Montgomery Avenue and Lancaster Avenue, as far out as Gladwin, even Wayne. And as far as the type of client, the demographic, it varies. We've got some very high-end luxury communities, and we've got some on the other end of the spectrum. But primarily we're looking for communities that are less complex, that are a little bit more straightforward than some crazy structures and other things. But
Okay.
at the end of the day, that never seems to matter, because what is a simple, not so complex association today, as soon as they sign the Cobrin agreement, they become a complex association.
What about high rises? You guys dabble in high rises at all?
High rises, we have a handful. Not sure I'd categorize them as high rises, although we do have a few. We've got a 17 unit building that we manage. We've got a whole bunch of 6, 7, and 8 floor buildings that we manage. So we do have some high rises, but nothing to the tune of a Rittenhouse or a Ritz or anything too large.
Gotcha.
Now,
Gotcha.
what's the biggest challenge in managing this type of like medium or high-rise community in a city like Philadelphia, New York, or Chicago? Sure. Like the struggle is the same for a manager, but what's the difficulty managing such properties?
I would say the most difficult or challenging aspect of managing a high-rise community, at least from my personal experience, is oftentimes you're going to be a sited manager. I played that role. I worked in that role a handful of times throughout my career, and being a sited manager, especially at a high rise, has its own challenges. The expectation that you are going to have significant knowledge of how a high rise works, firsthand knowledge, quick, immediate response time. It's a lot, and to be able to manage a leak that happens on the 15th floor that then funnels all the way down to the 5th floor, and you've got 10 units in between that are all damaged, looking for immediate response, looking for immediate repair or remediation, as well as while you're completing all your other daily chores and daily tasks of your role, can get quite complex, can get quite challenging. Gotcha. And the larger the property is, oftentimes it's been my experience that the more challenging it can be to manage.
And it's, I imagine, challenging to find a staff for that particular type of property as well. Sometimes, actually, what's the biggest challenge in actually finding that type of manager, would you say?
That's an interesting question. And I think the answer today is very different than the answer was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and hopefully will be in the future. The challenge today, the first step in that process, is finding somebody that's willing to work, finding somebody that you can hire that is able to either leave their current role or interested in leaving their current role or interested in working. What our world has gone through over the last couple of years, certainly I'm not an expert in it, and not interested in harping on it for too long, but it is challenging to find somebody that, if they're not working, it's challenging to find somebody that is interested in working and wants to work hard and has a strong work ethic. And if they are working and you've got to or attempt to hire them away from another company, whether it's another management company or any other type of company, whether solicited or unsolicited, companies now, including myself, are realizing that if you have somebody that is good and worthwhile, do what you can to keep them, because it's very difficult to find somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've had that experience a handful of times over the last 6 months, hiring people and only to have them, rescind their acceptance.
Wow, no kidding. So other than the hiring, I mean, there's been a lot of changes in the industry in the past 2 years. The pandemic has affected everybody in every aspect of life, especially community associations, because those are people's homes. Now, where do you see the industry going in, say, the next 5 to 10 years or so? What kind of changes do you see on the horizon?
Another great question. I see more and more technology coming to the table, and making this or attempting to make our industry more and more automated. Yeah. You're seeing that today, or for the last several years, with the development and expansion of management company software and its capabilities. the features that it has. Associate software companies have started to add client-facing portals, a view into their software. Those portals are now developing and evolving into more complex and capable tools to use for communicating with your boards, for internal board business, running condo meetings, running association meetings. I see technology coming to the table more and more over the next 10 years and really changing the business. Exactly how that's going to play out, what technology it will be, I don't know. I don't think any of us know other than those developing it. But I do think that we have made a big shift over the last 10 years to be more technology based. And I think that will continue for a company like mine, a small regional player. Or a regional player, maybe not so small, but a regional player compared to the more national or larger scale companies. What differentiates me is the personal touch and the personal care, and me as the principal of the firm being involved in a lot of the day-to-day operations of our associations. So for me at Cobrin and for Cobrin, the trick will be to accept that technology, use that technology as it evolves to become more effective and efficient, but to figure out how to keep that personal touch.
Very cool. Now, what do you think in the industry could be done better?
It's an interesting scenario. One, in a justified and valid and reasonable way, I would like to see. I think if management companies in competitive bidding situations or in general could stop lowering their prices and driving the prices of management contracts down and instead driving them up because of the demand that is out there, I think there will be more, the margins for association management companies are tiny. And if those margins could be expanded quite a bit, we could all invest a lot more in our companies, a lot more in our business, a lot more in our personnel. And I think that will help us all to become smarter, more friendly competitors, and more effective for our clients.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective. I mean, there certainly is enough work out there for everybody. Community associations especially in some urban areas, are growing the fastest that they've ever have. I mean, in some areas, new construction is 50% is all some sort of community association.
That's right. And the way the management industry is going now, the prices are getting driven down because you have the larger national players or the larger management companies that are becoming more robust and more common. They're driving the prices down, and I think we want to see the prices go in the other direction, which serves everybody better, no matter the size of your client, or no matter the size of your company.
Sure.
With that said, and I'm going to be very careful in how I say this, but I think it is also high time that clients are always right, but it'd be great if the clients could start to treat their managers and their management companies a little better. Nobody ever calls to say, it rained like crazy today and it didn't leak. So thank you. Great job, manager. Nobody ever calls to say that. They call to say, it rained, and how can I ever expect to live like this? Because, I have 2 drops of water that came through my ceiling and are on my floor, and you need to fix this, and you need to fix this now because it's your fault. So if people would just be a little nicer to everyone, managers to their clients to their managers, I think we could do a little better.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're hitting the spot right there. But before we leave, just kind of wanted to touch base on one thing that maybe you came across. Like what is the single defining moment of your career in management or as a management company owner that would be like illustrating the ridiculousness of the things that a manager can run into? Have you anything that sticks up in mind?
I have many, many, many things. many things.
Give us one short one.
The one that I am going to focus on is a somewhat of a current event, hopefully not so current for too much longer. But when the vaccines for COVID finally came out, and they were regulating, your Class A, and Class A is entitled to get a shot in this time frame, and Class B can get a shot in this time frame. There were some pharmacies around Philadelphia and some others around Philadelphia that were categorizing residents of condo buildings as living in communal environments and entitled or eligible for a Class B. They were eligible to be considered Class B for the vaccine. So you had pharmacies that were willing, some that were willing for a price to go out to condo buildings and give everybody in the building, all the residents, their vaccinations. Okay. So on one day, and we're talking about one resident in particular who called us one day to tell us that her toilet was backed up, and she doesn't think it's her responsibility. It's a building issue, and we need the management company to send a plumber out to unclog our toilet. Okay. Whether that's right or wrong. Okay. And then the next day she emailed me and said, hey, I understand that condo buildings can have a pharmacy come out and give vaccines. So when are you going to schedule the pharmacy to come to our building and get me my vaccination? So today she is asking me to unclog her toilet. And tomorrow, or the next day, she is asking me to help save her life. I thought that was an interesting scenario that I ran through.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely the ups and downs of community management. Now, in 20 seconds or less, can you give us a plug for whatever you want?
I am Jeff Krimstock. Call me. Call Cobrin Properties. We will serve your client better. We will serve you better than any other management company out there. We are the hardest workers in the business. You call at 3:00 in the morning, you're going to get me on the phone. You're not going to get a plumber. You're not going to get somebody else. You call at 3:00 in the morning with a clogged toilet or needing a vaccine, and you're going to get me on the phone. So I'm waiting for your call. 610-667-1122.
610-667-1122. Okay, and we just lost Steve. So, Jeff, it was a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you for joining us for this latest episode of Car Chat. And now I'm going to have to go and figure out what happened to Steve's internet. But in the meantime, we wish you a good rest of the week, everybody, and see you on the next episode of Car Chat.